is the A&M junior, Devin Dixon. He explains how he felt setting the NCAA leading mark in the 800 meters.
I felt like the most, I don't know how to explain, I felt like the most me I've ever felt when I run. I don't know if that really makes any sense. I just felt like me. I just felt like completely me. I was running the way I was supposed to. Everything was going right. My breathing was controlled. My pacing was set right, perfectly. And the rabbit, he ran out fast enough for me to, get out there with him. So, yeah, it's been a crazy season. I'm just excited to see what else happens next.
Devin Dixon was the best possible antidote to the loss of Donovan Frazier after his freshman year. He has just stepped in and done great work, not only in the 800, but also in the 4x4.
And in talking with his coach, Pat Henry, he said when he did run that 1:45.27 to leave the country, he planned on going out hard. He came through the 600 in 1:17.
That's running. Oh, they got to really shoot the guy, and it's Devin Dixon. Of course, the rule is you recall him if that happens in the first 100 meters, and now he's got to regather himself. And everybody wants to try to get a little bit of an advantage.
Oh, and there was a little bit of pushing and shoving between him and Urope right at the very beginning before they took off. A little elbow coming over from Urope, and that's just getting set. You're just getting set.
It looks like Karen Taylor of Arkansas is the one that kind of shoved him. Not purposely, but just to keep his balance. Let's see if we can pick that up. Urope definitely moved to the right a little bit. But see what happens with the Arkansas guy. Yeah, he just pushed him.
Yeah, there was a little bit of shoving going on. Again, like we saw in the 60-meter hurdles, there was a little movement, as you saw, of Urope and the Arkansas guy. But here's the thing. Now, again, like the 60-meter hurdle, false start. You've got to mentally now refocus. Your heart's beating a little bit faster. You're jittering, and now you're going to stay on that line a touch longer when they bring you up and say set.
Taylor gave him a little left forearm rip there. Luckily, he didn't get stepped on by anybody. But
800 meters at contact sport.
Exactly. Anytime you go down, that track doesn't give much, I'm not thinking. All right, Devin Dixon. He's a veteran. He's going to gather himself. They clean away this time, and Urope got stuck back there like he did yesterday in the prelims.
He did, but you know what? He always has been able to position himself in the lanes correctly in order to make the move. Again, watch for these first 400 to take out the pace just for positioning off this pole right here and run really hard into the second 200.
Dixon ran the first 400 very hard yesterday in the prelims and then just coasted to an easy 148.5. Let's see if he employs the same tactic. Urope well back right now in fifth.
25 seconds for Dixon on that first 200. And again, the strategy to pass on this banked curve is to make sure you try to set yourself up the acceleration off the curves and pass on the straight.
He went through at 51 yesterday. He's definitely slower than that today. 52. So 1 second is a big deal in the 800.
And Urope right here, this is where he usually kind of hits his stride. He's currently in third, very tall, all white, going out to lane 3 to pass, just like he did in the prelims.
All right, so now we have an interesting race. Urope is now thrown down the gauntlet. Two A&M Aggies right behind him, and Dixon and Orange, and the gap is starting to widen. Here comes the bell. I don't see a move from Dixon right now.
Urope needs to just take his time, make sure he lifts his knees on this backstretch. He knows that this field is going to be coming from him, especially in this last 50 meters.
I'm just not seeing a gear change out of Devin Dixon. I don't know if it's the fall, even though the gap is starting to shorten a little bit as Urope starts to tie up. Dixon may have sensed that, and here he comes, back from the dead, and Dixon wins it. He defends his championship. Urope may have just gone a little earlier than he was really ready to do, and Dixon must have known that.
Well, it was a slow pace, as you said. Through the 400, they were a second off, so Urope just kept running his own race, and to make that move in the second part of that third 200, the field is going to end up coming back to you.
So here's the move by Urope at the exact right time, in that it was on the backstretch.
Yeah.
But it must have taken more out of him than he expected. I mean, it didn't run slow. 147.47 is a heck of a good time, even off a 52-second first lap.
It is, but Devin Dixon actually was very patient. That shows his maturity. He knew that Urope was ahead of him, knowing he had about 152 make a move, just depending on how much he had in the tank. and then taking him over in the last 30 meters.
That was savvy running by Devin Dixon. I didn't think he had it. He wins it, and A&M goes 1-3. Mississippi State 2nd, 4th, and 5th, so big points for the Bulldogs. But the champion for the second time is downstairs with John.
Devin Dixon signaling to his people, Gig 'em Aggies, we need to talk about the start, we need to talk about the finish. How do you refocus after you take a dive on the first start?
It was a little minor setback. And stuff like that happens all the time. Coach Henry trains us to get used to it and get ready to go back stronger.
All right, and then Marcus, he takes off on you. What was the decision to let him go there?
I know Marco, he's a very fast athlete. But I know him taking it out, I knew and he knew that he was giving his all that last one. I knew if I just stuck with him, I'll be able to get it.
We let Marco get on front, but you didn't get away from him. Champ in the 800 meters, Devin Dixon, once again, 1-3 for the Aggies.